Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verses 16 through 28. Now, by the king's order that a bunch of, bureaucrats tricked him into, anyone who doesn't pray to and bow down to him has to be thrown in the lion's pit. And that means he's had to condemn Daniel to that lion's pit, but he doesn't want to, but he can't go back on his word. And what's interesting is rather than doing what's right, the king wants to save face. That having the praise of men is more important than having the praise of God. And so it's kind of funny, the king sort of weakly says, I hope your God is able to do something for you. I could. I could save you, but I can't do it. And so maybe the God whom you serve, rather than the king that you serve, will rescue you. I mean, it's just so comical. And so he's thrown into this pit, right? The den of lions is a death trap. It's a pit. It's a tomb. And what do? They roll a stone over the pit, over the tomb, right? I mean, where else do we see this story? Where else is there a death trap, right? This is Jesus Christ is in the tomb and they roll a stone over that. So we know how this is sort of a preview of coming attractions in the New Testament. And he's thrown in there with the ferocious beasts who are more than capable of ripping him apart. Just one of them could do it, but there's a whole den of them, right? And one of the things to recognize is how death, once again, as so frequently, is used by humanity as a tool of control and a tool of bringing about a solution, right? This is what humanity does. It uses death. God doesn't. They do. And so the king, he can't sleep, he can't eat, and he rushes the next morning down to the pit. Oh, hey, Daniel, are you still alive? I hope you survived the night. Has your God been able to rescue you? Does the God that you trust, did he come through for you? And I think that's a huge question for us as Christians. That's sort of what Daniel is trying to get at. Do you trust God? And does God come through for you? No one else is. The king can't do it. Who else is going to do it if the king can't come through for you? And what's interesting is that this pit that should have been a pit of destruction, it should have been a pit of failure, the pit becomes a victory of God. Daniel still ended up in the pit, right? He didn't want to be there, but he still ended up in the pit. But in his lowest moment, it becomes a point of victory for God. And that really is a lesson for us to trust God, that even when we're hitting those lows, that God can be at work in the midst of that. And what's interesting is the response of this. They throw the accusers and their family, these false accusers, into that pit. And it's mafia-style vengeance that goes after the whole family. And then we get into verses 26 through 28. He is the living God. He endures forever. His kingdom won't be destroyed. His dominion is forever. I mean, all this praise for God. And yet still these pagan kings do not come to faith. It's simply more about religious tolerance, even though what they speak is true, because our God is the God who rescues and saves and perform signs and wonders. Thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.